Thanks, Dame Ruth. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Student Governor Forum 2012. It's great to see so many of you here, and I'm really looking forward to speaking to you throughout the day and hearing about some of your experiences as student governors. Having been a student governor at Cornwall College for 2 years, I'm entirely aware of how challenging it can be to just rock up into a room full of people in suits who seem to know more about the college than you ever could, and to be faced with a stack of incomprehensible papers and tiny, tiny cups of tea and coffee. And it can seem like one of the most daunting experiences you could ever imagine. But no amount of educational jargon or acronyms will ever be a substitute for the authentic student experience that you bring to the table. And so NUS have focused heavily on the last couple of years on student governor support. Some of you will have already been involved in the pilot of Student Governor Support Programme, for instance, an initiative designed to guide student governors and those people supporting them within colleges to get the most out of their term in office, from training and induction to support throughout the year, locally, regionally and here nationally. We've also been working hard to defend the very positions of student governors within the further education sector, as the coalition government attempted to remove the compulsory requirement for colleges to have student governors on their governing body. I spent hours meeting with government ministers to prove to them how incredible the impact of student governors can really be. Why? Because the role and the impact of student governors is something that we can't afford to underestimate. You bring a whole new perspective to the governance of multi-million-pound organisations, there to hold colleges to account for their actions with astonishing results. Who could be better placed to scrutinise the college's academic quality, to question the priorities of senior managers, or even just to remind governors and managers what it's really like to be a student at your college? So when the government's new education bill threatened the place of student governors, we knew we had to do something about it. And we did. So with sweeping changes across the whole of the further education sector, it's never been more important for you to be effective within your roles. Now, people who've been around in FE for a long time will tell you that it's a sector that sees constant change and that from year to year very little stays the same, and this year is no different. But we are just beginning to see the effect of policies which will fundamentally change the way colleges work forever. With university technical colleges, academies, free schools and studio schools, as well as mergers, capital bill projects, a cut in funding and an increase in student numbers, your colleges will be forced to play a really careful balancing act just to keep afloat. And with the implementation of the Education Bill, outstanding colleges will no longer be regularly inspected by Ofsted, and all college staff will now have the power to stop and search students for items deemed to be against the college rules. Student governors couldn't be better placed to scrutinise those policies and ensure that students are not facing persecution on campus because of them. It's student governors who are best placed to make sure that amongst that background, students are never forgotten about and that it's our best interests that are always in mind. It's never been a more challenging time to be involved in the student movement, particularly in further education, but it's also never been more exciting. An opportunity to really make a difference to the lives of young people and students, many of whom wouldn't have anything if they weren't at college. It's an incredible prospect, and it's one that you all play a huge role in. So I hope you really enjoy today, and I hope you get lots out of it, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with you throughout the day. Thank you.